The Buddha whose promotion name was Siddhartha in Sanskrit, and family name Gautama, Sanskrit Gautama, lived in North India in the 6th century BC. His father, Sautodrana, was the ruler of the kingdom of the Sakam in modern Nepal. His mother was Queen Maya. According to the custom of this time, he was married quite young at the age of 16 to be a beauty and devout young princess named Yasodhara. The young prince lives in his palace with every luxury at his command, but all of a sudden, conform with the reality of the lives and the suffering of mankind, he decided to find the solution, the way out of this universal suffering. At the age of 96, 29, soon after the birth of his only child, Rahula, he left his kingdom and became a ascetic in search of this solution. For 3 years, the ascetic Gautama wandered about the village of Gangam, meeting female richer, studying and following the ancestors and methods from Safeddin himself to religious ascetic practice. They did not satisfy him, so he abandoned all traditional religious and them methods and went his own way. At West Death, the West evening sits under a tree, since the known as the body or body tree, the tree of wisdom, or the bank of the river Namachanas and Buddha Gaya, Gaya in modern Bihar. At the age of 35, Gautama attained enlightenment, after which he was known as the Buddha, the Enlightened One. After his enlightenment, Gautama, the Buddha, delivered his first sermon to a group of 5 ascetics of college in the rear part at Isiprana, modern Centra, near Burundi. From that day, for 45 years, he taught all classes of men and women, king and parent, Brahmin and outcasts, workers in wretched, holy men and over, without making the slightest distinction between them. He recognized no difference of court or social prospect, and the way he preached was open to all men and women who were ready to understand to follow it. At the age of 80, the Buddha passed away at Kusina in modern Uttar Pradesh in India. Today, Buddhism is found in Siam, Burma, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, Tibet, Japan, China, Japan, Mongolia, Korea, from foremost in Sampara, India, Pakistan, Nepal, and also in the Soviet Union. The Buddha's population of the world is over 500 million. The Buddhist Chapter. The Buddhist attitude or mind. Among the founder of religion of the Buddha, if we are permitted to call him as the founder of a religion in the popular sense of this thing, was the only teacher who did not claim to be other than a human being, pure and simple. Other teachers were either God or his inspiration, his different form, or inspired by him. The Buddha was not only a human being, he claimed no inspiration from any God or external power either. He attributed all his realization, attainment, or achievement to human arua and human intelligence. Only a man can become a Buddha. Every man has within himself and potentiality to becoming a Buddha. If he or he were an arua, we can call all the Buddha a man. For excellence, he was also so perfect in his humanness. It is he began to be regarded later in popular literature almost as superhuman. Man possessing, according to the Buddhism, is supremely man is his own master, and there is no higher being or power than power that sits in judgment over his destiny. One is one's own refuge. Who else could be the refuge? I said the Buddha, he admonished his discipline to be refuge to ransom and never to seek refuge in or help from anybody else. He taught encourages and stimulates each person to develop himself and to work his own emancipation from man and had the power of liberating himself from all bondage through his own personal effort and intelligence. The Buddha said, you should do your work for the Tragata, only teach the way. If the Buddha is to be called a superior error, it is only in the sense that he discover and show the path to liberation, nirvana, but we must treat the path ourselves. It is on this principle of individual responsibility that the Buddha allowed freedom to his discipline. In the Mahaparinirvana Sutta, the Buddha said that he never thought to controlling the Sangha or argument, nor did the wind to Sangha to depend on him. He said that there was no stone doctrine in his teaching, nothing hidden in the close path of the teacher, or to put in other words, there never was in anything at his service. The freedom of thought alone by the Buddha is and hard to acquire in this history of religion. This freedom is necessary because, according to the Buddha, man's aspiration depends on his own realization of truth and not to the benevolence, praise, or the god or any external power as a reward for his obedient good behavior. The Buddha once visited a small town called Kesaputa in the kingdom of Kosala. The annalists of his town were known by the common name Kalama. When they heard that the Buddha was in their town, the Kalama paid him a visit and told him, "Sir, there are some recluse and Brahma who visit Kesaputa. They explain and illuminate only their own doctrines and display contents and spurn others' doctrine. Then come other recluse and Brahmin, and they do in their turn explain and illuminate only their own doctrines and display command and some other doctrine. But for them, son, we had always doubt and ridiculity as to us among these renewable recluse and Brahman followed the truth and who spoke forth. And the Buddha gives them this advice unique in the history of the religion. Yes, Kalaman is proper that you had doubt, that you had preliminarily for a doubt has arisen in Mara, which is tofu. Now, look, your Kalaman, do not be led by report or preaching or hearsay. Be not to lead by the authority or religion, test, teacher, test, not by merely logic or influence, not by concentration, appearing, not by the light in speculative of near, not by seeming possibility, not by the idea that is our teacher, but O Kalaman, when you know for yourself that certain things are unwholesome and wrong, and but then give them one. And when you know for yourself that certain things are wholesome and good, assess them and accept them and follow them. The Buddha, when even future, he told the bhikkhu that a discipline should examine even the Tragata Buddha himself so that the discipline might be fully convinced of the true value of this teacher whom he followed. According to the Buddha's teaching, Tao's basically one of the five hindrances to the clear understanding of the truth and to spiritual progress or for that matter to any program. Doubt, however, is not a sin because there is no article or faith in Buddhism. In fact, there is no sin in Buddhism. A sin is understood in some regions the root of all evil is ignorance and false views. It is an unavoidable and deniable fact that is, as long as there is doubt, spiritually woven, no progress is possible. It is also equally unattainable. Thus, there may be doubts as long as one does not understand or see clearly. But in order to progress future, it is absolutely necessary to cut it all doubt. To cut it all doubt, one had to see clearly. There is no point in saying that one should not doubt or one should lead. Just to say I'm lead does not mean that you understand and see. When a student works on a math- mathematics problem, he can to a state beyond which he does not know how to process, and where he is in doubt and elementary, as long as he had this doubt, he cannot process it. He would to process, he must resolve this doubt, and there are way of resolving that doubt. Just to say I'm bleed or I do not bleed, I do not doubt were suddenly not solve the problem. To force oneself to bleed and the accept is done without understanding its potential and not superior or not intelligent. The Buddha was always eager to display doubts, even, even just a few minutes before his death. He requested his discipline Subutai to ask him if they had any doubts about his teaching and not to feel sorry later that they could not clear those doubts. But that student was silent. What he said then was touching. It is short respect for the teacher that you do not ask anything. Let one or your info his friend. Let one tell him friend so that the latter may ask the question on the other's behalf. Nanos not only the freedom of thought but also the tolerance alone by the Buddha is astonishing to the student of the history of religion. 1. That in Nalanda, a prominent and Vedic Asura named Upali as a well-known the discipline of Nikanda Nadapoda was expressly sent by Mahavira sent to meet the Buddha and defeat him in argument on certain point in the theory of karma, because the Buddha view on the subject was different, although Mahavira quite contrary or is an question. Upali at the end of the discussion was convinced that the view was the Buddha's were right and two of his master were wrong. So he began the Buddha to assert his as soon as his late discipline Upasaka, but the Buddha asked him to reconsider it and not to be in a hurry. For consideration, from considering carefully is good for Weno, man like you. When Upali expressed his Zionism, the Buddha requested him to continue to respect and support his old religious teacher as he used to. In the 3rd century BC, the great Buddhist empire Asoka of India, following the Noble Age of tolerance and understanding, honors and tolerance of all other religions, and his first empire in one of his it is kernel or rods, the original of which one may read even today. The empire declared one should not honor only one's own riches and karmas, the riches of others, but one should honor other riches for this or that reason. So doing, one has one's own riches to grow and return rather subject to their religion or those who attend, or otherwise one touch the grace of one own religion and also does harm to other religions. Whatsoever honor his own religion and condemns other religion, thus is indeed true devotion to his own religion, thinking I will purify my own religion, but on the contrary, in so doing, he injured his own religion more gravely. So, concern is good. Let all listen and be willing to listen to that certain process by other profound prophet, prophet by other. We should add here that this spirit or sympathetic understanding should be applied today, not only in the matter of religious doctrine, but elsewhere as well. We should elsewhere as well. This spirit of tolerance and understanding has been from the beginning one not more just idea of Buddhist culture and civilization. That's why there is no single example of restriction or the sharing of a role of law in converting people to Buddhism. In its propagation during its long history of 2,500 years, it spread was peacefully all over the continent of Asia, having more than 500 million attached to it. Violence in any form, under any pretext whatsoever, is absolutely against the teaching of the Buddha. The question has often been asked, is Buddhism a religion or a philosophy? It does not matter what you call it. Buddhism remains whatever label you may put on it. That label is immaterial. Even the label Buddhism which we give to the teaching of the Buddha is not literally important. The name of one given is it is essential. What is name? That's what we call or rose. By any other name, or smell as was sweet. In the same way, truth need to live it is neither Buddhist, Christ, Hindus or Muslim. It is not a monopoly or anybody. Secrets label are a hidden of this independent understanding of truth and the virtue harmful suggested in man's mind. This true not only in intelligence and spiritual matter, but also in human relations. When, for instance, we meet a man we do not look no on him as a human being, but we put a label on him, such as English, French, German, American, or Jewish, and regard him with all these. We just associate with that label in our mind. Yet they may completely free from those attributes which we had put on him. People are too so fine on this might label that they even go to the religion or putting them on human quality and emotion come out to all. So they thought a different branch or charity, as for example, of Buddhist charity or Christian charity, and look down upon other branch or charity, but charity cannot be separated. It is neither Christian, Buddhist, Hindu, or not Muslim. The less of a mother for her child is neither Buddhist nor Christian. It is motherless human quality and emotion like love, charity, compassion, tolerance, patience, friendship, desire, was ignorant, conceit, as well. Need to segregation level, they belong to the particular regions. To the sect after to it is emanates from where in India, India can the social and development of and India is mature for the academic emphasis in order to understand truth. It is not necessary even to know whether the teaching comes from the Buddha or from anyone else. What is essential is seeing that in understanding it, there is an important story of the Mishima Nikaya, Sutta No 140, which illustrates this. The Buddha once spent a night in his fortress shed. In the same shed, there was a young recluse who had arrived there earlier. They did not know each other. The Buddha observed the recluse and thought to himself, "Pleasant are the way of this young man. It would be good if I should act about him." So the Buddha asked him, "O Bhikkhu, in whose name have you slept, or who is your master? Who, whose doctrine do you like, O friend?" Answered this young man, "There is the recluse Gautama, a Saka who led the Saka family to become a recluse. There is high refuge abroad of him that he is an Arhat, a fully enlightened one. In the name of this blessed one, I have become a recluse. He is my master. I analyze his doctrine. Whatever does that blessed one, the Arhat, the fully enlightened one, lives at the present time. Where does the blessed one, the Chakra, the fully enlightened one lives at the present time? In the country or to north France, there is a city called Sawati. It is there that the blessed one, the fully enlightened one, is now living. Have you ever seen his in that blessed one? Or you recognize him if you saw it? I has never seen that blessed one. No, not sure I recognize him and with him. The Buddha realized that it was in his name that this unknown young man has left home and become a recluse, but without developing his own identity. He said, "Perfectly, I will teach you the doctrine. Listen and pay attention. I will speak." "Very well, friends," said the young man in accent. Then yet the Buddha delivered to this young man a more remarkable discourse explaining to that his or which is given later. It was only at the end of these discourses that this young recluse, whose name was Okasadi, realized that the person who spoke to him was the Buddha himself, so he got up, went before the Buddha's pillar down, found down at the feet of the master and apologized to him for calling him friend. And knowingly he then began the Buddha to ordain him and admit him into the order of the Sangha. The Buddha asked him whatever he had the arm for and the robe ready. The vehicle must have three road and the arm for packing food. When Okasadi replied in the negative, the Buddha said that the chakra hold no ordain a person unless the arm and the robe was ready. So Okasadi went out in short on the arm and road, but was unfortunately served by a crowd and died. Later, when his third new reached the Buddhas, he announced that Socrates was a wise man who had already sung truth and attained the pinnacle state of this realization or nirvana, and that he was born in a realm where he was become a raha and finally passed away, never to return to this world again. From this story, From this story, it is quite clear that when Phagadadi listened to the Buddha and understood his teaching, he did not know who was speaking to him, whose teaching it was. He was true. If the medicine is good, the disease will be cured. It's not necessary to know who prefer is or when it's come from. All more religions are with faith rather than with blind faith. It was seen, but in Buddhism, Amsa is lying on seeing, knowing, understanding, and not on faith or belief. In Buddhist text, there is a word sata, which is usually translated in faith or belief, but sata is not faith as such, but rather confident, born out in conviction. The popular Buddhism and also in oratory used in the text, the sata. It might be admitted had an element of faith in the sense that is significant devotion to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. According to the Asana, the great Buddhist philosopher of the 4th century, A.C. Sardan had three assets: full and firm conviction that it is century, joy, and good quality, and separation, aspiration, or wish to achieve and objects and view. However, you put it, faith or belief in as understood by most religions has little to do with Buddhism. The question of belief arises when there is no seeing. Seeing is every sense of the world. The moment you see, the question of belief disappears. Here I tell you that I have a king hidden in this Jim hidden in this wooden front or my hand. The question of belief arises because you do not see it yourself, but I unclean my first and show you the yin, then you see it yourself, and the question for belief or does not arise. So the phrase is ancient Buddhist text read realization as one see as yin or metaphorical truth in the front in the form a respect of the Buddha's name Masila Te Musila Te another man front Sawati Sawita Siwita without devotion, faith or belief, without linking or inspiration, without hearsay or vision, without consolidating appearance, fair and decent, without relying in the speculation or opinion. I know and see that the cessation or becoming is nirvana. And the Buddha said, O Bhikkhu, I say that the distinction or defilement and impurity is meet for a person who knows and who sees, and not for a person who does not know and does not see. It's always a question of knowing and seeing and not thus or believing. The teaching of the Buddha is qualifying as Pasika, inviting you to come and see, but not to come and believe. The expression used everywhere in Buddhist texts referring to person who realize truth or the distress and stillness eye or truth has arisen. He has seen truth, has attained truth, has known truth, has penetrated into truth, has crossed over dark, is without within. This was the right wisdom. He see it is in. With reference to his own enlightenment, the Buddha said, the eye was born, knowledge was born, wisdom was born, science was born, light was born. It is always seen through knowledge or wisdom, and not living through faith. This was more and more appreciated at any time when primitive, authoritative, intolerant instead of believing in accepting them preaching and authority as their only truth without question. Once a close, learned and well-known Brahmin went to see the Buddha and had a long discussion with him. One of them closed. The Brahma should 60-year-old age may Kapindaka, Konsara, Vidance, all of these expressly Brahman mind put a question to the Buddha. Ranivakodama, there are thus Asian only the pressure of the Brahman has hidden down along this line by unbroken or tradition or text. With regard to the Brahman quantity, absolute conclusion, this alone is true. Does everything else is false now? What does the Brahminical Karma say about it? The Buddha inquired. Among Brahmins, is there are any or single Brahmin who claim that he personally know and see that is law is true, everything else is false. The young man was front and said no, there is any or single teacher or Brahmin, but to the seventh generation or even any one of these original other or these Christian who claim that he know and see this law is true, everything else is false. No, then it is take a lying or blind man he holding on the preceding one. The first one does not see, the middle one also does not see, the last one also does not see. Thus it seems to me that the state of the Brahmin is like that or a lie or blind man. Then the Buddha gives advice or is then important to the group of Brahmin. It's not so far for a wise man who meditates his protest to come to the conclusion this law is true, everything else is false. Asked by the young Brahmin to explain the idea meditating or protesting truth, the Brahmin said, Himaya's face is the same, this is my face. So far, he maintained the truth, but by that he cannot proceed to the absolute conclusion that law is true, everything else is false. In other words, a man may believe what he likes and he may say, I believe this. So far, he refutes that, but because of his belief or faith, he should not say that what he believes is wrong, the truth, and everything is false. The Buddha says to be attached to one thing to a certain view and to look down upon other things is influence. This wise man called a figure. Once the Buddha explained the routine of the cause and effect to his discipline, and they said that they saw it and understood it clearly. Then the Buddha said, O Bhikkhu, even this view, which is pure and so clear, if you cling to it, if you foreign it, if you pressure it, if you are attached to it, then you do not understand that the teaching is simpler to a rod which is for crossing over and not for getting hold on. It's where the Buddhist explain this premise in which his teaching is compared to a rod for crossing over and not for getting hold on and carrying on one bus. Perfectly, the man is on a journey. He comes to a big stream of water. On this side, the shore is dangerous, but on the other it is safe and without danger. No boat goes to the other shore, which is safe and without danger. Nor in there is any bridge for crossing over. He said to himself, "The sea is wetter, water is best, and the shore is in the side is full of danger, but on the other shore is safe and without danger. No boats go to the other side, nor is there is bridge for crossing over. Here we push, therefore, here I hold gather grass, wood, branch, and leaves to make a rod with the head of the rod throw over safe to the other side, straining myself with my hand and feet. Then the man of people gathered grass, wood, branch, and leaves and make it rod with the head of the rod cross over safely the river, steering himself with his hand and feet. This rod was of great head to me, which is at I had crossed safely over to this side, starting myself with my hand and feet. Here we could I carry this rod on my head or on my back where I go, wherever I go. What is this obstacle? It is Acted in this way, how then man be acting properly with regard to the word no, in which may then how be acting properly with regard to the road, having crossed and gone over to the other side. Suppose that man should then this rod was a great head to me, which is that I had crossed safely over to his side, exercising myself with my hand and feet. Here we could I finish this rod on the shore in the fish or mold it and let it afloat, and then went on my way, whatever it may be. Acting in this way, fountains may act properly with regard to the rod. In the same manner, Opeku, I had thought a dolphin similar to a rod. It is for crossing over and not for carrying its catching hold on you. Opeku, who understands that the teaching is similar to the rod, should even put in how much more than should even in from this profile, it is quite clear that Dharma teaching is meant to carry man to safety, place, peace, happiness, tranquility, the attainment of nirvana. The whole routine taught by the Buddha lead to him the end. He does not say this just to satisfy religion curiosity. He was a particular teacher and taught only those things which home bring peace and happiness to man. The Buddha was once staying in a Simaspa forest in Kosambi near Alavara, who he took a few level into his hand and asked him, "Discipline, what do you then? Or Bhikkhu, which is more, the shoe laid in my hand or the least in the forest over here? So very few are the least in this hand or the place blessed one, but indeed the least in the Simapa Saint Sapa forests over here are very much more abundant. Even so Bhikkhu, or what I had told you only a little, what I had not told you is very much more, and why had I not told you? Because this is not useful, because this is not useful, not leading to nirvana. That is why I had not told you those things. It is first assumed question what is he trying to do for us to speculate on what the Buddha knew but did not tell us. The Buddha was not interested in discussing honestly metaphysical questions which are purely speculative and which creates imaginary problems. He considered them as a whatever or opinion. It seemed that there were some among his own listeners who did not appreciate this attitude of his, for we have the example of this then Malusha Buddha by name who put to this Buddha's tongue were no practical question or metaphysical problem and demurred answer. One day, Malaysia Buddha got up from his afternoon meditation, went to the Buddha, slept in a sat on this side and said, "Sir, when I was all alone meditating, this thought occurred to me. There are three problems and explained put aside and just by the blessed one, namely, is this universe eternal or it is not eternal? Is the universe fitting or is not fitting? Is not the same body or is so one thing and body another thing? Does the traveler exist after the death or does he not exist after the death? Does he both at the same time exist and not exist after death? Or does he both at the same time not exist and not exist? The problem the blessed one does not explain to me. This issue does not please me. I do not appreciate it. I will go to the blessed one and ask him about this matter. If the blessed one explains then to me, then I will continue to follow the holy life under him. If he does not explain then I will leave the aura out and go away. If the blessed one know that the universe is eternal. Let him explain it to me so. If the first one knows that the universe is to not eternal, let him say so. If the first one does not know whether the universe is eternal or not abstract, then for a person who does not know, it is straightforward to say, I do not know, I do not see. The Buddha's reply to Malaysia Buddha should do good to many millions in their world today who are wasting precious time or such metaphysical questions and unnecessarily distributing their peace of mind. Did I ever tell you, Malaysia Buddha? Come, Malaysia Buddha, lead the holy light under me. I will explain this question to you. No, sir. Then Malaysia Buddha even view. Did you tell him, son, I will lead the only lights under the blessed one, and the blessed one will explain this question to me? No, sir. Then now, Malaysia Buddha, I do not tell you. Come and lead the holy lights under me. I will explain the question to you, and you do not tell me. That's done. I will lead the holy lights under the blessed one. He will explain this question to me. Understand? Under this circumstance, you foolish one, you refuse whom Malaysia Buddha if anyone says, I will not lead the holy lights under the blessed one until they explain this question. He may die with this question and answer them by the Tragara. Suppose Malaysia Buddha Iman is holden by a poison arrow and his friend and lead it, bring him to a sergeant. Suppose the man should then say, I will not lead him. His sorrow be taken out until I know who showed me, whatever he is, Kasiya or the warrior or kid or the Brahma or the priest or the Vishya or the President and articulate kid or soldier or the lower kid, what is name and family maybe, whatever he is, treasure or million statue, or whatever his complexion is, black, brown or golden, from which village, town or city he comes. I will not tear him raw arrows. I will not let this arrow be taken out until I know the kinds of for which I was shoot, the kinds of always used, the types of arrow, what sort of feature was used on this arrow, and with what kinds of material the final the arrow was made. Marisha Buddha that's man whole time without knowing any of these things. Even so, Marisha Buddha, if anyone says, I will not follow the holy light under the blessed one until they answer these questions such as where the universe is eternal or not as well. He will die with these questions and answered by this chakra. Then the Buddha explained Malaysia Buddha that the holy light does not depend on these views. Whatever opinion one may have about this problem, there is but which indicates that sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, despair, the cessation of which nirvana, I declare in this very life. Therefore, Malaysia Buddha, bear in mind what I had explained as explained and what I had not explained as unexplained. What are the things that I had not explained? Whatever the universe is, eternal or not astral, to turn opinion, I had not explained. Why Malaysia Buddha had I not explained them? Because it's not useful, it's not fundamentally concerned with the superficial holy life, it's not contented to aversion, detachment, cessation, tranquility, deep penetrating through realization, nirvana. That is why I had not told you about them. Then what Malaysia Buddha had I explained? I had explained dukkha, the rising of dukkha, the seeing of dukkha, and the way leading to the cessation of dukkha. Why Malaysia Buddha had I explained them? Because it's useful, is fundamentally concerned with the spiritual holy life is connected to aversion, detachment, cessation, tranquility, deep penetration through realization, nirvana. Therefore, I have explained them. Let us now examine the Four Noble Truths which Buddha through Manisha Buddha he has explained.